So I auditioned January of 2023. It was one of my big three schools. It was NYU, Juilliard, and Yale. I have Juilliard tomorrow, actually. Wish me luck. And Yale this Sunday in 2 days. But I had NYU first last weekend. But this is how my day went. My group's time was around 11. I think it was exactly 11. I don't know how many groups there are in a day, but each group has like 2 hours and it's maybe like 20, 30 people. When I got there at 11, this like waiting room was absolutely packed. And I was so confused because I got there early too. Like, how early did these people come? I was very confused. And then it made sense that this was the 9 to 11 group that still hadn't gotten their results back. So they hadn't selected who was going to be called back from this group. So they were still waiting while the new group was trickling in. And then after like 10 minutes after I got there, this whole group like left, except for, the people that were called back. So that's why it was so packed when I got there. I was very confused. So there's a 9 to 11 group, there's an 11 to 1 group, which is what I was a part of, and then there's a 1 to 3 group, and then I don't know how long that goes on for, but basically it's a whole day of like people just like swarming in, auditioning, and then leaving, and some people getting left behind for callbacks. In the 2-hour group, in my 11 to 1 group, we were divided into 2 subgroups. Let's call it Group A and Group B. And we auditioned for different people. I guess like it's too many people for like one auditor to see. So they divided us up and they put us in 2 separate rooms where 2 different pairs of people watched auditions. One thing that none of the other schools had me do was at NYU. When you walk in, you have to fill out a sign-up sheet. You have to like write down all of the monologues that you have prepared, and they specifically state like we want 2 classical and 2 contemporary monologues, and just your information. And I think I had to fill out my age and my like previous education, like if I have a BFA from somewhere, which I submitted with my application. So I was like, why are they making me fill this out again? They also made everyone bring a copy of their personal statement, which again, like we submitted this in the application. I guess they didn't want to waste paper, or I don't know what was going on, but they had us prepare a lot of things compared to other schools. Anyway, so everybody fills that out. I think they said that you are going to be called in the order that you fill out that sign-in sheet. So the faster you submitted out of your group, you're gonna be like the faster to go into audition, if that helps anybody. If you prefer to go later, I would say sign up later or slower. It might not happen when you're auditioning. I don't know. That was just the case for us. So you go in, you audition. Oh, one thing that was really cool about NYU was that when you're on standby, they take you to a prep room. Like you have your own private room where you can do your warm-ups or like practice your monologue or do whatever warm-ups. I thought that was really considerate of them. It was very nice having that like private space and private moment to, just ground yourself and do whatever you need to do to get yourself ready. For round 1, it was an alum and a current faculty pair. And I did my 2 pieces. Then I think I waited for about an hour until everybody else was done. And then they called back about 6 people, or maybe five to 6 people out of the 25 people that auditioned, and I was one of them. So I made it to round 2. So everybody's allowed to leave except for the people who were called back, and we were taken into a separate like smaller waiting room, smaller group in a smaller waiting room. So everybody was just doing things in the corner, walking around, stretching. And then they called us one by one, and we auditioned for a different set of faculty. This time in my room, there were no alum, and they asked me to do 2 pieces. I could choose for the initial audition too, by the way. I could choose out of all the 4 that I've written down. And then they let me choose again for round 2. So I chose one that I had already done in the first round, and then I chose a different one. I don't know why, I just felt like it. And he one of the auditors worked with me and gave me, I did Phoebe from As You Like It, and he said, you know, she has this like really like back and forth thing going on. Meeting this like love interest has suddenly triggered this like absolute like wild reaction in her, right? And I'd gotten that note before that my Phoebe is a little like too like controlled, like this and that and this and that and this and that and this and that. But I think it was in a similar vein of just like let go and like go crazy with it. So I did it. I did feel like I followed his direction, and then I didn't get called back for round 3. But from what I've heard from like a girl that came back from round 3 of auditions is that round 3 is it for the day. Once you do that, you are free to leave and just wait for the news. But she said that they specifically asked for monologues from that list, like they chose 4 and see like, hey, do this and do this. They also asked somebody else to sing in that 3rd round. I had not been asked to sing at this point for round 1 or round 2. Nobody asked me to sing, but I guess they finally asked that in round 3. And it was also a totally different group of auditors than the first and the second round of callbacks. So every time you audition, you're going to audition for 2 new people. So yeah, that was NYU. I wish I made it farther. You know, it was kind of a bummer because I also felt like, and I rarely feel like this, but I felt like I got everything that I needed to do out of me. Yeah, there's nothing I regret. There's nothing I would have changed, which again was rare for me. So I was like really confident that I was going to make it to round 3, and I didn't. And it made me realize, oh, you know, it might be like an acting style or something. I have no idea. It was pleasant. It was very like businessy. I don't know if that's the right word, but it was very like in, out. They're not going to comment. They're not going to like give any unnecessary commentary or reaction. Maybe in the 3rd round they do, but like round 1 and round 2, they were very much like, oh, thank you. Or, why don't we try it this way? Thank you. I was actually really emotional even making it to round 2 because last year I also auditioned for grad schools. I didn't audition for NYU last year, but like last year I auditioned for Juilliard and Yale and some other schools. But the speed at which they cut me for Yale and Juilliard was like absolutely so surprising to me. And the fact that you like prepare months and months and like get your recommendation letters in order and write your personal statement for weeks and weeks and weeks and spend so much money on an acting coach just for it to be done in the span of like the 3 minutes that you audition, and them being like, we don't need to see anymore. You're not called back. It was so intense. Like stop right here. That I think I was a little like traumatized by it. I didn't realize until I got called back for NYU, and I was like tearing up because I was like, oh, I am doing something right. I am doing something right. Can you tell I live in New York? Can you hear that heater? Maybe you can't. It's like, anyways. So yeah, it was a pleasant experience, mostly because of the friends I made in the waiting room. We were just waiting around for so long that we were like playing Would You Rather and just talking about like, you know, where else we're auditioning for and what that's been like and all that. Good luck. I'm so proud of you if you are even like at the point of auditioning. And I really like am rooting for anybody who's gotten this far to the point of like wanting to research videos of other people's experience auditioning. You're gonna do great. So have fun, get enough sleep. Oh my gosh, if you have to take melatonin, take it. If you have to drink chamomile tea, just drink it. Go to sleep, please. That was like my number one mistake, is like not getting enough sleep because I was just so like nervy and anxious. Oh my gosh, tire yourself out. Go on a hike that morning. You have to go to sleep. Stay hydrated, relax. You know, there are many, many different ways to becoming an actor. Anyways, too preachy. That's it. That was my NYU experience. I'm out. Good luck, boys and girls, and non-binary people, and everybody in between. Love you. Peace out.